Welcome back to the Creative Engagement Creative Writing Challenge with my guest, my brother, Mark Mandel. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good.
We are in the third installment of this creative challenge.
This challenge was undertaken by me to write and publish a short story. I want to do that, and I was finding obstacles to doing that. So my brother said, "Hey, I'll challenge you."
You were going to be writing this in a very impactful, almost, you used the word shocking, first-person character that you identified, that had now kind of changed to the third person.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about how that is evolving.
And just writing and writing. Sometimes I'm writing first person, and sometimes I'm writing third person. And for third person, I'm using SJH the fourth. I took a little bit of a walk and sat at a bench and watched people go by, and I started writing. And then I started writing little bits and pieces. And so I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 different little bits. I'm going to grab those pieces and put them together, and that's going to make up the meat, so to speak, of the stories.
So that is essentially creating an outline for this.
Yeah, because there are things that happen to me in life. So that it is. I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had talked about that this, you anticipated that this would be autobiographical in some percentage. And so that's definitely happening.
I think it's almost entirely autobiographical, but then again, I include my imagination in my biography. It's part of me.
How would you say that this challenge is treating you? How does it feel like to be in this challenge?
It irritates me. I grow by things that essentially irritate me. I get irritated when you first came up with this idea. Your work that you do with creative people and them doing challenges and you encouraging them, I thought, that's stupid, I'm not going to do that. But then you came with a writing challenge to me, which hit me right where I am, because I do want to learn what it takes to be a successful published writer. So I saw that. It was almost like you get a piece of meat and you're chewing at it and trying to get it so you can swallow it. Because when I get irritated or upset with something, I can more easily lock in on it. But after a while, it's like, oh yeah, look at this. Oh, you can play with this thing. I got to jump into that pool. And so that's the initial feeling I had. I could feel myself kind of worried, like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have enough material for this session today. I haven't really done what I said I'd do. But after a while, I started writing down these little bits and pieces that have happened in my life, many of them quite odd, and that started to make me feel like this is the story. I've already written this stuff. I just have to bring it up and weave it together to be the story that I'm trying to write. But I'd hope whoever takes on one of these great challenges, it's engaging you deeply so that you feel it. In my case, I feel it. Irritation is one of the first things I feel. It's just part of the package.
Part of the meta aspect of why we are capturing these conversations is to show the inner experience of this challenging yourself idea. I find that when I take on challenges, I almost always face my fears in some way. And like you're right to point out that we all have our personalities about what happens when our fears arise, or, when we face ourselves.
Yeah.
So you, our viewers, may have very different experiences based on personalities, but there is something about the more that you are willing and able to challenge yourself or take on challenges, then you have this experience. It's also worth saying that it's worth it. Do you feel like would you be doing this writing otherwise?
I'd hope I would, but I don't think I'd be doing it the level I'm doing now if it wasn't for you and this particular challenge right now. So it's spurring me on to do what I say I want to do. We don't always do that. I don't always do that, but I'm doing it now, even though in the midst of it, sometimes it feels like I'm failing. Sometimes it feels like, like you say, facing fears or angers or sorrows has come up too. A lot of my writing over the last week, things that didn't work out the way I'd hoped they would, and just keep on looking at that clearly and describe it. Since it's the writing process that I'm doing, I'm describing it the way it strikes me, facing that emotion that I don't often face all of that, but I know I want to, especially if I want to be creative.
For our next session, what do you think you would hope to have accomplished?
I am hoping that I can find all these little bits and pieces that I have in my map outline, actually find them and start weaving them together into the entire narrative. It's kind of exciting and scary in a way too. I don't know what the fear is exactly, but I could feel it this is a challenge, very much a challenge.
There are some aspects you have looking back to earlier writings. So in a sense, you are attempting to capture something akin to time travel or dimension, realm travel. And you're talking about first person and third person. How do you see those aspects unfolding?
In my viewpoint of life, these things that you're describing that are kind of outside dimensions and things happening past and future, that's all active now to me. It's weaving throughout our lives, and a certain amount of life is what we might call normal waking reality, three-dimensional reality, where a desk is a desk, and what we're thinking, what we're feeling, our imagination, our dreams, astral projections. Over years, this blend of what I've investigated as being human has included all of that. Imagination and creativity is certainly a part of that. That's the sort of topic that I want to write about in a context. A person that's in waking reality can read it and follow it as a story. What I'd like to do is get someone to actually start to consider, wait a minute, I dream too. I hope my story will show that. In a context, I still have the one context of it'll be a story about slow walking and being able to enter these dimensions.
It does kind of set up part of the challenge is navigating the limitations of language, exploring reality, dimensions, realms, and dreams heightens the challenge of having the reader have the experience you want them to have.
I think really for me, where good art hits is almost always emotional. So as I'm writing and researching, being able to feel what I'm feeling and not shying away from what might be troublesome areas, fearful, sour, angry ones. But it's an emotional impact because of my own things that are roiling within me, my own dreams and imaginations and feeling. And they're all going to be feeling, reading the story, watching this video from their own imagination, feeling, all of that coming to bear. And how those mix. That's why sharing art is so amazing. So that's why I'm doing it. All of it is part and parcel of the same thing. And if that wasn't happening, I wouldn't be doing these sessions, frankly, because that's interesting to me. I'm pretty sure whatever we do affects everything else we do. Everything we perceive changes us, and what changes us changes what's being perceived. So I think that this is the perfect way to get at least a person with my personality aspects engaged in a creative art. And hopefully there's more and more people who want to do that, who want to become engaged in this.
As always, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Creative Engagement YouTube channel. And thank you so much.
Thank you.